Okay, we're back. Michigan Conservative Roundtable. Kim to my right, Mac to my left. My name's TJ. And in this particular segment, seeing that we hail from Michigan, I thought we'd comment on some of the more recent events in regards to our medical situation and the measures dictated to us by our governing law body. In any event, me being the news hound that I am, I read a few articles. One was from the Federalist, and Michigan has gotten pretty popular nationwide for what they've done, and as far as national media noticing some of what's happening here in Michigan. And so the Federalist, Tristan Justice, wrote a commentary, an editorial, and she titled it, Whitmer extends stay-at-home order while liberating state of draconian bans. And she references, she has some quotations, obviously from Governor Whitmer. Data shows that most Michiganders are doing their part, staying at home and staying safe. I beg to differ. But she said it anyways. That's good. We must keep it up. Social distancing is our best weapon to defeat this enemy. Yeah, what they had to do is they had to go kick the guys off the basketball court.
But did you know that 80% of people are still employed and still working?
Yeah.
And we're seeing more and more traffic out there.
And that's kind of another segment. But then Governor Whitmer continues, with new COVID-19 cases leveling off, however, we are lifting some of the restrictions put in place in her previous order. Okay, she is now requiring everyone, when they go to public enclosures, everyone must wear, and this has me baffled, to wear homemade, non-medical grade face coverings. But she's saying we have to, but we are not subject to criminal penalties for not doing so. So she's summarily dictating terms, but if we don't listen to her, we're not going to be penalized.
But she's going to have the stores listen to her so that we can't go into the
stores.
Because
the state holds their license, so
exactly.
They're going to be able to mandate whatever they like to do.
And you know, then that swerves into a whole issue of private property issues, that kind of stuff. Let's see. Her new order allows us to travel house to house, and in doing so, allow us to gather here for this video. So that was kind of her. Let's see. She prohibited the sale of non-essential made items, and that led to protests in Lansing a couple weeks back. I sure would have liked to have been there, but I was working. I guess I was part of the
There's another
fortunate.
one this coming Thursday, I believe.
This coming Thursday is another one. All right, well.
And I am not tied up this time.
And
so I'm strongly considering going.
I'm going to consider going if I can get off, yes.
All right, that's cool. Let's see. A group of Republicans, Paul Mitchell, Fred Upton, Tim Walberg, Bill Hunzenga, if I'm saying his name correctly, a John Molinar, and a Jack Bergman. They wrote a joint letter basically saying to the governor, you're out of control. Okay? And as of last Thursday or Friday, and our medical professional here at the round table could correct me on this, there's an estimated 37,000 cases of coronavirus here in the state, and an estimated more than 3,000 deaths.
If that's true, because the thing is I know there was an article by the Oakland medical examiner who said that they're testing every patient, regardless of the way they died of COVID, of the virus. And he also said that, like, they had one guy that had committed suicide, and they tested him, he came out positive, so instead of saying suicide, they said COVID. Another guy had a gunshot wound and died of a gunshot wound, but they tested him also. He tested positive for the virus, and he was classified as a patient that died from the flu or the virus.
That brings me to a question that I'm dying to have our viewers, maybe they can answer this. I think we can answer it as well. Why would they do that? Now, we do everything for our reasons, whatever they might be, whether they be wise or stupid or what have you. So, but why would they, what would be the desire to count a guy who shot himself in the head perhaps, or hung himself in the garage or what have you? What would be the purpose of counting them as a COVID death?
More money. More money from the federal government.
I also got to wonder if it might provide some justification for all the nonsense.
And it also
Okay.
shows that the fear that they're invoking is correct.
Right.
All right, so just yesterday, I came across an article from the American Thinker, another one of my favorite sites, and the title of this article is, and I found this title interesting, "What the Heck is Going On in Michigan?" That was the title of the article, written by an Andrea Whitberg. And she cites what she defines as 3 hints of trouble. Of course, I guess she's not, I don't think she's from Michigan, because I actually had a first hint of trouble differing from her first hint of trouble. But her first hint of trouble, she mentions, and this doesn't necessarily pertain to the medical situation we currently find ourselves in, but she's in general referencing the election of Rashida Tlaib. She goes, that was the first hint of trouble. And while I wouldn't necessarily disagree with her, my first hint of trouble was when Governor Whitmer won and wanted to institute a 45-cent gallon of tax on gasoline, and that was perhaps my first hint of trouble. But in any event, she mentions this is the first hint of trouble, Rashida Tlaib. Then she says the second hint was when Michigan governor viewed the coronavirus as a license to be a tyrant. And she, and in doing so, she references how Governor Whitmer summarily just dictated with a wave of the hand who can work, who can't work, where you can go, where you can't go. I know from my own company, they gave us a letter on company letterhead identifying who we were and where we worked, and that our job was deemed essential. What was the term? Essential job or something?
Yeah, essential personnel.
Yeah. And so, and that was, and basically what we had to do is we had to keep that on our person in the event that say a law enforcement stopped us and said, "What are you doing on the streets?" or "Why are you here? Why are you there?" Well, out comes the letter, as in.
That sounds real Nazism, doesn't it?
Yeah, it sure does. You know.
You have to show
now,
it.
now I would tell you, I was never stopped. Okay, but I had the letter on me.
I drive all over, and I've got the letter too, but I've never been stopped.
But you keep it on you, don't you?
Huh? No.
You don't keep it on you?
No.
All right. Well,
I have a badge though.
I can't afford to end up in some Detroit jail, so I kept it on me. All right. One of my hot buttons on this topic here is I went to Menards to buy an Easter lily for my wife, obviously prior to Easter. And it was kind of interesting, you know, from a distance I can see the Easter lilies, and I thought, oh, let me be a good husband and go buy an Easter lily for my wife, you know. And as I get closer, I see caution tape wrapped all around the Easter lilies, and Menards had a very big sign posted giving Governor Whitmer full credit for them not being allowed to sell Easter lilies. And I did take a picture of it, and it will be inserted into this video, so you'll see what I'm talking about. Oh, and then by the way, a couple weeks later, when my wife and I went to the same Menards, I said, you know, I said to my wife, I said, hey, let me show you the Easter lilies that I wasn't allowed to buy. So we went back to where these same Easter lilies were, and they were dying. A whole thing of dying Easter lilies, because Governor Whitmer wouldn't allow Menards to sell the Easter lilies.
You should have tried to sell it as an e-gift.
You know?
Yeah.
So,
She got to look
And
at the
don't you
picture.
think it's interesting that, just the day before she put that thing into effect, she had did that thing for the kids. Oh, kids, the Easter Bunny is an essential personnel, and your mom and dad will be, he'll visit your mom and dad's house. Don't worry about this and all that. And then she clamps it down where you can't buy nothing for them.
so you can't buy an Easter lily, but you can sure go buy your booze and lottery ticket and
Have an abortion.
have an abortion. I just I find the insanity. The world's turned upside down.
You can have an
It's
abortion,
upside
which
down.
is essential to a safe life. If that isn't irony, then there isn't any.
But you can't have a tumor removed
Correct.
from cancer that might kill you.
Right.
Okay, now for the third hint of trouble that Andrea Widberg noticed about the state of Michigan, and that was the way Karen Whitsett was treated. For those who might be unaware, Karen Whitsett, and I'm trying to be careful here so as not to say Whitmer, Karen Whitsett was a Democrat representative from Detroit, and I have her currently serving for the 13th Congressional District. She came down with the coronavirus, and even though Governor Whitmer had banned the use of the drug in Michigan, Whitsett took the can you say it?
No, but Plaquenil.
Hydroxychloroquine.
Yes.
Hydroxychloroquine. Basically, Whitsett took it when Governor Whitmer had banned the use of it here in Michigan, and recovered. And Karen Whitsett's opinion is it saved her life. So much so that she made video of it, and she even thanked Trump, and it was the thanking of President Donald Trump which has brought the wrath of the Democrat Party down on her head.
Yeah, they want her censured.
They want her censored. They
said that, I call her Whitmire, is actually sending her almost daily hate tweets.
yes, texts.
Yes.
And
That's adult.
Yeah.
Tucker Carlson interviewed Karen Whitsett, and let's see, what she said to Tucker Carlson in that show was she didn't know thank you belonged to one political party over another, and she has basically made it known that she will continue to speak out against the governor of Michigan, which good for her. You know what? It'd be nice if she switched parties, maybe.
Yeah.
But even if she doesn't, if there's a voice of clarity in the other party for a change, that might be a refresher.
Well, yeah, that would be nice. So here we got. You know what? You're left with the thought of they would sooner see one of their own die than to be saved by an opposing party official.
Yeah.
I mean, that's kind of the gist of it.
That's the reason they don't
You
care
know?
if we die.
Yeah.
I mean, I really get the feeling from them, they don't care.
No, of course
They
they
don't
don't.
care if
They
they're-
murder the innocent.
They
So
don't-
why would they care about someone who's lived long enough?
Yeah, they don't care if our elderly are dying in the nursing homes from...
And besides, we're deplorable. We're white supremacists. We're Nazis. I mean, go down the litany of names that they
swamp
call
women.
us.
We were
Litany
called
is his
swamp-
favorite word, by the way, which I've referenced
It's
before.
oft used, not my favorite word.
Yeah, it's one of your words.
Dinner is my favorite word.
So, anyways, I'm going to wrap it up with that. Any final thoughts as to what the heck is going on in Michigan?
What's going on is our hospital systems are collapsing, and we will continue until she opens up for, for surgeries again. Our hospitals are going to collapse.
I think what's happening in Michigan is she is ensuring that President Trump will win Michigan again.
Well,
Hey, that would be a good thing.
I guess the pragmatist in me would be okay with that, but it wouldn't be proper.
No.
But it's a moral dilemma I guess I'll have to reconcile with. Anyways, anything else?
Yep.
All right. That's a wrap. Thanks for watching. See you next time here at the Michigan Conservative Roundtable. And remember, be safe. Watch your six and don't tread on me.